got stopped out of my trade break even after hitting take profit once. So here's how I made $200. Small day, very small day. Um, like I've been talking about the last 2 days, depending on your entry, when price wants to rebalance, you're at risk of getting stopped out. So yeah, that's what happened. I still honestly feel like price will take out, at least take profit too. Um, if price has enough volatility, it'll definitely take out data low. Not that it doesn't want to, but it most likely won't because there's just not enough volatility, unless I'm wrong, right? But yeah, let's get into it. So on the day here, let me do the decrease. Ready? Boom. Decrease. Put you in the right yet again. Cool. Okay. Replay mode. Go to market open. Okay, great. So on the higher time frames, um, there was no bearish SMT, right? We had, let me double check. Is there a way I can, well, we had no bearish SMT unless I'm wrong. Yeah, no, we had no bearish SMT. We had swept this 1 hour high right here. The all-time highs were resting here, same for here on ES. And we had already swept out sell-side liquidity, all the sell-side liquidity that was produced in the overnight. And maybe the last part of yesterday's day. So now I'm going to come on the 1 hour, right? I'm like, okay, so this was obviously 8:30 news, right? Very volatile. It swept out all this low resistance liquidity to use it as leverage to come up. And yeah, so now I'm thinking, honestly, I'm like, all right, well, the draws on liquidity are kind of not fun anymore. So I was honestly thinking of getting off of the charts for that. I'm like, well, my draws on liquidity are just done. I might as well just get off because, it says here, what messy and clean price action look like, get selective. And so I was being selective. And, but I was like, you know what, I'm going to plan to not trade. But if a setup presents itself and it's really valid, I'll take it. So that was my headspace. I was contemplating whether or not I should be on the charts, and then I decided just to be an observer of the market. And if something presents itself, I'll go ahead, right? So on the 15-minute, right, we see the Asia consolidates, London consolidates bullishly, and just 8:30 news completely wrecks out the London low and Asian low. So there goes my strong draw on liquidity. I'm like, okay, well, what's the next best thing? Because I had to think, well, if the London and Asian session or key session highs and lows are swept, why am I going to even trade? And I was like, the data lows. Okay, the data lows as a draw. Now price is like a magnet, right? So just because the data low is a strong price still a strong draw on liquidity. I don't always believe, like in this trade, I didn't think that price would come to the data low, but that was my target because it makes sense. But key price points like the London and Asian high and low, or midnight open, or data lows, data highs, these things are like a magnet on price, right? Now, that doesn't always mean they're going to hit, but it's a good way to get an idea of where price wants to go, right? Just because I see a data low doesn't mean, all right, well, I'm going to hold all my marbles in until we get that data low because I know that data low is a really strong draw on liquidity. It is. That doesn't mean shoot for it. Be reasonable. Modify your reasoning through logic just because, or just because you see a high resistance draw on liquidity. So now I'm gonna get on the 5-minute, right? So what I would have liked to see is, because on ES the Asia low never got swept. The Asia low was also an equal low with the data low. Okay. And that's actually what we did. No, we didn't. So I was thinking, okay, well, if price comes up, sweeps these hourly highs, maybe even the all-time highs, we can put in a bearish SMT and continue lower, and maybe I could take out some draws on liquidity. That would be optimal for me, right? So let's move on with price now, right? Market opens. We come up. We sweep out the hourly high. We don't sweep out the hourly high, creating a bearish SMT. By the way, when you see an equal high, right? Let's just say, okay, NQ obviously swept this hourly high. But when you see an equal high on the other correlating asset, it's still an SMT because you failed to sweep. At first, I was confused. I was like, wait, we swept on ES, but we created an equal high at that point with NQ. Does that mean it's not an SMT anymore? But it is an SMT. So that's something important to keep in mind. So we swept this hourly low. Now I'm kind of waiting for a reaction because we start, rebalancing in here a tad. See, like that. Now I'm going to come on the 1 minute. Okay. Right? Okay, now we get a push. Now we get a strong push. All right. Now I had marked out originally my 5-minute change in state. I had marked out a 5-minute bullish fair value gap, and I had marked out a 1-minute bullish fair value gap. So my idea was, well, if price inverses the 5-minute and inverses the 1-minute, and we get a change in state because of the not shit price action. This is actually, we're delivering pretty well, but because of I had a brain fart. Oh, because of our draws on liquidity have been taken out, our sell side, because of 830 news, then this would be decent enough confluence me for at least take something off of it, right? So I entered 9 mini contracts on NQ at the change in state, and I set take profit 1 at this 1-minute low. Also, I saw the midnight open, so I placed my take profit at the midnight open because if price is gonna come, hold on, let me. Okay, so that 1-minute low was resting below equilibrium. Also, the midnight open was resting right below equilibrium. And so now I had an obvious draw on liquidity for my first take profit, right? Which was the midnight open, right? Because we have a sell side liquidity draw, we have equilibrium, then we have the midnight open resting. So that was my first draw. Second take profit was this 1-minute low. It should have been a 5-minute low, but price doesn't work like that. And then my final take profit was the data low. So let's see how price plays out. Boom, we tagged take profit 1. I think I was up $204. At this point, I moved my stop to break even. I don't want to keep any risk on the table because I didn't think price would continue, or I don't want to risk if price wouldn't continue any further. So all risk was off the table at this point. And so now I would want to see price come down, take profit 2, and then maybe reverse. That was the best option, honestly. So let's just see how this works out. Boom, stopped out at break even. So that was it. Really solid day. Um, I have nothing more to say. I mean, I went in very logically. I went in not wanting to trade, and I let the market convince me to trade. I didn't convince myself to trade, which is good. That's what I need to be doing. Um, Look, I even did this last night with this note that I've been talking about the last 2 days. Just fucking, yeah, a little bit of a psycho. But yeah, let's actually see what's going on here. Hold on. Well, I guess I might as well check with you because it is a short video. Yeah, we're just ranging in here. We're not even creating new highs, but we are printing on ES. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure people are gonna catch longs right now. Yeah. All right, guys. Well, I mean, there's more I'd want to say. Like, I'd want to find an actual long entry, not on purpose, but like, we swept this. Um, on NQ, creating a bullish SMT, right? Because we swept it from this low to this low, but this low to this low. Okay. And then what can we find here? Let's see let's just find an entry for fun. I like doing that, seeing opposing entries, right? Here's our breakup structure. Here's a fair value gap. Look at that. How beautiful would that entry be? This is a textbook entry, guys. Look, bullish SMT, break of structure, bullish fair value gap, equilibrium. Someone could have easily put their buy limit right there. And maybe we can target the all-time highs. All right, that would be beautiful. That's a beautiful trade. They would be in no drawdown. I actually want to see how this trade plays out because I want to see if my draw on liquidity was wrong for the day. I still don't think we'll hit the data lows, but I want to see if NQ will continue to expand bullishly. And if it does, then I'm going to refine my trading a bit because I took this off of rip. I'm starting to realize that even though price came up, hardly 1%, that wasn't even a manipulation leg. That was just leverage to manipulate low. So maybe because I was looking at the shorter time frame, obviously. Maybe this wasn't even our manipulation right here, and so maybe I was trading off of manipulation, which obviously it was. If you see ES sell, fail to sweep, and then continue way past the all-time highs, so I might do some refining because look, Judas window is 15 to 20 minutes long, or 10 to 20 minutes long. And what the Judas window is the manipulation phase in the early morning session. Not power of 3, but it's still manipulation, accumulation, manipulation, and then distribution. So if this just keeps expanding and actually hits the all-time highs on NQ, then I'm going to be looking to maybe wait out on taking trades like this, because look at that. Obviously at 9:45 when the Judas window closes, we distribute, right? But I want to see us go past all-time highs in order to beat myself up for that one. But yeah, I guess this was our manipulation leg, and I don't know, we'll see. I'm really curious, like, whether or not I traded our manipulation leg. I mean, we obviously did, but I don't know. I just have to refine my thinking and refine my draws on liquidity. Yeah, that's it. All right, guys, have a good day. My name is Daniel Jatani, and through Christ, I am a profitable trader. I execute based on logic, not fear. My edge is my skill, not my emotions.